Big 12 softball championship gets underway on Thursday. Huge event in Oklahoma City that if you have an opportunity to go to, you should. I would love to be there. Alas, when your daughter's first birthday is on Thursday, the first day of the tournament, dad work wins over going to see softball. But here to preview the tournament and talk about a lot of other things. Very excited to have two Kansas softball seniors joining us today, Haleigh Harper and Ashlyn Anderson. Ladies, welcome to the 1012.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
So let's start here. You are in two very different, I would say, situations heading into this weekend. Haleigh, this is your last season at Kansas. You're not going to be using your COVID year, while Ashlyn is going to be coming back for one more season. So, Haleigh, I want to start with you. I mean, this weekend could be the end of the run at Kansas, barring basically winning the Big 12 championship and having an opportunity to go to regionals. I mean, how are you going into this weekend? How are you kind of dealing with some of those thoughts, or have you pushed those to the side until after the final out?
So we actually did senior day Sunday of last week. So I kind of got all those emotions and feels out of the way, I think. That was a pretty emotional weekend for me. But I think for the most part, all those last kind of emotions are out of the way for me. So I'm just excited to go into this Big 12 tournament. Not really thinking it's going to be our last, because you never want to do that. But I'm just going to embrace every game that I get to play in and just hopefully go out with a bang.
Obviously, Sunday was a big one with a nice bottom of the seventh inning walk-off on senior day. I'm not sure you could have a more dramatic fashion victory in your final home game as a Kansas softball player.
Yeah, no, it was so crazy. I've watched the seventh inning of that game probably 10 times over, and each time it just gets better. But yeah, it was so surreal to be playing in that game. I couldn't even imagine, like, my parents watching it. They were probably so stressed. But yeah, it was a good one.
What would you say was the moment really sunk in for you on Sunday of like, this is the last time I will play here on this field?
Well, actually, the top of the seventh, there was two outs, and I just started thinking to myself, I was like, wow, like after this out, like I'm running off this field for the last time in a game setting. And I kind of started getting teary-eyed, and I was like, okay, we can't do that. Like we can't have emotion out here right now. But then after that third out, it got hit to my fellow seniors, Peyton, in right field, and she caught it and she ran in. And I just so much emotion. Like, I started tearing up on the way out. I gave her a hug, started tearing up in the dugout. And my assistant coach, Coach Wiggs, he looked at me, he said, "What are you doing? You have to bat." And I was like, okay. And so I ran to the locker room. I like got myself together, and I was like, yep, came back out, put on my helmet, and sure enough, I was up to bat and like two batters. So yeah.
That's awesome. You gotta shake it off quick and get back out
Yeah,
there.
I know.
Ashlyn, again, you're going to come back for your COVID year, so it wasn't your last year. But I mean, you came up with Haleigh. You were part of the same recruiting class, as well as some of the other seniors who may or may not be sticking around. What's that? What are the emotions for you of knowing I've got another year to play, but it's not going to be alongside some of these girls that I've been with here for my entire career?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's really sad, honestly, thinking about it, because I mean, Haleigh and I lived together freshman year along with two other of the seniors. And so it's just really sad to think about. Not to mention, I've also played against two of the other girls in high school ball growing up, because we're all from Kansas. And so I just remember Haleigh was in the locker room crying. I was like, "Haleigh, come on, we gotta go." And so we went out there. The game finished, but it's just so crazy to think about that we've been playing this game for 16, 17 years of our lives, and just one day it's just gonna be all over with. And it's gonna be upsetting not to have Haleigh next to me in the field next year.
What led to your decision to go ahead and come back and use that COVID year?
Well, I still need to finish my undergrad degree. And so, I mean, it might as well, if I'm gonna be in school, I might as well play softball as well, you know? Don't just finish it off quite yet.
Has the thought that you're going to be, obviously you're a senior this year, so you've got to be one of the leaders, but to come back and be a fifth year senior, a super senior, that much more, put on your shoulders as a leader in the program, has that started to kind of sink in for you yet?
Honestly, no, not really, because next year we'll have 7 other seniors, I think. So there will be 8 of us that are like, I guess, leaders on the team, and it's just insane to think about that the year after that, there's gonna be 8 of us leaving.
Man, yeah, that's quite a few. That's quite a
Yeah.
few. So obviously the regular season is over. Big 12 championship gets underway on Thursday. You will open with Oklahoma State. How does the mindset for a tournament versus like just a regular weekend series? It's just any other game. Like I know the coach speak, but like, is there a difference in mindset going into this than there is, especially knowing like at this point it's win or the season's kind of over? Is there a different mindset going into this than there is just a regular weekend series?
I think there definitely is more of a mindset. I mean, we obviously go out there every day to win, but I think it's the fact that we're in Oklahoma City on the Hall of Fame field playing against a great team, OSU. I think the mindset does change. Like we're going to be on a huge stage. And, Haleigh said it best earlier. She said great teams beat great teams every day. And so I think for us, it's a mindset of we're not going to finish first game. We're going to like try our hardest to make sure we get it past the first round.
Haleigh, same question to you.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously the mindset doesn't change. We go into every game wanting to win. We have a game plan based on the team, but the mindset doesn't really change. Like Ashlyn said, we're gonna go in there. We're gonna put our best foot forward. We're gonna attack everything that we can on our side. Pitching, hitting, fielding. We're gonna put our best foot forward in all 3 of those categories. And yeah, like Ashlyn said, great teams beat great teams every day. So it's just gonna be like a battlefield. Like we're gonna be giving it all we have. I know that for sure. So
Yeah, I'm thrilled. I think the Big 12 softball championship is a fantastic event. I know I'll be tuned in to all the games on Thursday. What has this season been like for this team? I mean, it's been a little bit of an up and down year. You've had some high highs, I think, some incredible wins. I mean, you just knocking off Wichita State not just a couple of weeks ago, I think was a big one. Having the win over Ole Miss earlier in the season. But what has this season been like for you, especially you, Haleigh, knowing it's your final year?
You've said it best. Like we've had some high highs, we've definitely had some low lows throughout the season, but I could not be more proud of our team this season. We literally have not given up in any game, and I think that was evident in our last Iowa State game. Like there's no quit in this team, absolutely no quit, and just the fight and the desire and the passion to win has just not gone down at all throughout the season. And that's something that I think a lot of teams don't necessarily have. Like usually they start off really good at the beginning of the season because they're all like amped up, ready to go, and then it kind of trickles down to the end of the season. But our drive and our passion like hasn't wavered at all. So I think that's one of our strong suits. That's a good characteristic that we have, and I think that alone could take us really far.
Ashlyn, same question.
I agree with everything that Haleigh says. I think another thing that we really have going for us is our team chemistry. Every single girl on the team gets along really well. We're all pretty much best friends. I mean, we live with each other. We're on the road with each other all the time. We're at practice together every single day. And so I think at the end of the day, that's what matters, is that for a fact that you can trust the girl next to you, and that, I don't know, you guys just have that bond over the sport. And I think that's what this season was really about for us, making sure that we always had each other's back. Because say I strike out, I know Haleigh's going to be up next to me or up after me, getting a base hit. She's going to help me out and she's going to do her job.
Yeah, that's definitely one thing about this team is like our chemistry this year compared to the other years that I've been here is just unmatched, like night and day difference.
So that leads me to kind of the next question. You were all part of Coach McFalls' second class there at Kansas, and I always feel like the second class is kind of the first class because when you're a new head coach, you kind of coming in, you got to get a recruiting class together quickly. That second class is the first one you've been able to really spend the time building the relationships with while they're in high school, and so What do you believe is the legacy that this class that you two have been a part of is that you will leave when you both end up moving on to other things? What is the legacy you feel like will be left behind by this class?
I think first and foremost, like we changed kind of the thought process behind wanting to put this team on the map, if that makes sense. Like we came in our freshman year and we were like, yeah, like we're good. Like we're gonna put Kansas softball on the map. Like we're gonna do what no other team has done before us, and we're gonna change the trajectory of this team. And we stuck with that year in and year out. And I mean, it's shown this senior year, like it's definitely shown like we left Kansas softball better than we found it. And that was our goal since day one.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Haleigh and I are both two of the four team captains that we have. And I think this year we've done a great job. Like Haleigh said, we changed the trajectory of the team. And I think also we changed the way that leadership has been built in the past, because I think us four captains this year, I mean, last year too, we've really started to get a grasp on like what leaders need to do and how we need to have a successful team. And I think we've done a great job with turning this program around, and we're only a step closer to where we should be and where we need to be.
And it
Okay.
helps when your teammates and your coaches like trust each other. Like that has also been a huge part of the reason why we are able to like keep building this program, is because the trust between the teammates and within the team, and the trust between the coaches and the captains and the team in general is just everyone's open to ideas and thoughts. And we just, that's how we grow as a collective unit, is just by trusting each other.
I mean, look, I do think this has been Coach McFalls' best team since she got to Lawrence. So I think everything you're saying holds water. I record aside, like this has been a very competitive team. I've been able to watch quite a few games for Kansas. You guys don't give up. You do have a ton of fight in you. And I do think that this program, again, I do think this program is better now than even when it was when she got there. And I think this class has been a big part of that. And the future looks very bright, especially with some of the young players there in Lawrence. We will expect to see for the next few years. Okay, we've talked about Coach McFalls. We mentioned her a few times. We've had the pleasure of interviewing her here on the show, but I got to ask you both for a good Coach McFalls story. We get to talk to her, but it's those behind the scenes when the cameras aren't watching and the mics aren't on, and it's just you and the coaching staff. I need a good Coach McFalls story.
I think one that I just think is hilarious and it's so on brand for her is there was one day, it was a morning, probably like 7 a.m. We were at the hotel. It was this season, and the fire alarms start going off. And mind you, we've never seen McFalls without a face of makeup on, or like her hair done, like her looking fully presentable. And so we all get outside and we're like, oh my God, this is our time to see her like not presentable and what she hates doing. She didn't even come outside. She did not come outside when the fire alarms started going off, because she was going to do her hair and makeup before she had to leave. And I just think it's so on brand for her to like always be presentable, and it's just so funny to me.
I would say it's not really like a story, but for being a gold medalist and like an all-American shortstop, anytime the ball comes to her, like in her direction in a game or in practice, she lets out like a yelp and she jumps out of the way every time. Like for being a gold medalist and a great shortstop back in her day, she does not want the ball to come in her direction anymore. Which, in her defense, it comes off the bat pretty fast. But every single time she yelps and jumps out of the way without fail.
It's not even a yelp. It's like a 4-year-old girl scream. It's so high
every time.
That's fantastic. That's awesome. All right. So Haleigh, for you, since obviously your career is coming to an end, I mean, obviously you've got a lot of memories. A lot has happened during your 4 years in Lawrence. What are some of the moments and the memories that you think are going to stand out to you most as you sit here and chat with us?
I honestly think that like just the times with my teammates that not even like softball related, some of them, just the times that like I get to spend with my teammates outside of softball even. We have very, very funny and good memories from a lot of those times. But yeah, I don't even know. There's just a lot of things that I'm gonna miss. But yeah, I can't even like express right now, like without probably tearing up about how much I'm gonna miss my teammates. So, but
Well, I've never made anyone cry on the podcast before.
yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
don't want
start
to,
now.
so I'm
It's
just gonna
okay.
stop there.
It's okay.
Yeah, we're gonna stop there.
Then you would never let me use the video on YouTube, so that's okay.
No, no.
Ashlyn, I know you got another year, but same question for you. I mean, what are some of the memories you're going to have, especially with the seniors who are moving on that you've come up with?
Honestly, I'm kind of sick of weights. Like Katie and Jordan. It's insane because 6 a.m. weights is horrible, but that's what I'm gonna miss is like us being together and embracing the suck together at 6 in the morning when we're all on each other's last nerves.
Yeah, I will say like one of the worst things I've ever done, but I have been so thankful to have done it with a team was running the hill. We have a camp, we have like the Campanile on our campus is on this huge hill. It's right up like right beside the football stadium. And this hill is just massive. And we as a team had to run it last year at like 6 in the morning to make it even worse.
There's snow on the ground.
Yeah, snow, freezing cold, like could not feel your feet, but we ran it like 4 to 5 times. And I have never been so happy and so thankful that I was doing it with a team because I knew if I was doing it by myself, I wasn't making it up the hill.
Yeah,
But
and that hill plays tricks on you. You're
yeah,
looking at it and he's telling you you're gonna run it 4 times. You're thinking that's no problem. I
it's
can
the most deceiving hill
yes.
because it never stops. It doesn't stop.
Oh, and then it just gets steeper as the higher you go.
Yeah.
And then one of the times we had to carry a med ball, and oh my gosh, the med ball was so hard. That it was like 100 pounds. What?
I was so heavy. I literally couldn't even carry it. I had to pass my turn to Bruno. I was like, come on, Bruno. You got But it was brutal. But I can assure you I will never be running that hill again unless it's with that team.
Yeah, for whatever reason.
Ooh, that sounds not fun. That would be the embrace the suck, as you mentioned.
That's the
Ashlyn.
embrace the suck. Yeah.
Exactly.
For sure.
Okay, so I've asked some of the players that we've had on the show. I've been able to ask this, and I've different answers, of course. But so far, it seems like everyone's kind of got like a team song for the season, something that whenever it gets played in the locker room or on the bus, everyone gets hyped to. Like, do you guys have a kind of a team song for this year?
We definitely do. I
too.
can't think of it off the top of my head.
I mean, the only thing I could think of is the new Drake song. I feel like when Jordan plays it in the back of the bus, everyone gets up and starts singing. Like even Sav will take her headphones off before a game and start
Yeah,
singing.
Jordan's our music girl. She
Yeah.
always has 2 speakers and they're always connected. But I would, yeah. Our team's a really big Drake. We're really big Drake fans.
Yeah. Or J-Rock songs, I guess. Do our little
Yeah.
dance.
We did. We do a little dancey dance.
Yes. KU Athletics
Yeah.
has a dance competition every year with all the sports teams. And so each sports team gets a genre, and our genre was 90s. And so we compiled a bunch of songs together, and then Casey Hamilton, our pitcher, she's an amazing dancer. And so she always choreographs the dance routines. But we ended up getting first place this year, which is hype.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Very nice.
You can maybe find the dance on YouTube. I don't know.
Deep dive is about to occur after the kids are in bed tonight. All right.
No, but I would just say, yeah, we
Yeah.
have constant music going in the back of our bus. There is not a time where it's silent, and in our locker room. But I wouldn't say we necessarily have a song. Our team just could literally get lit to the ABCs, I swear.
That's fantastic. I don't know if I can come up with a better way to end than that. Haleigh, Ashlyn, you have both been incredible. Thank you so much. Haleigh, to what is next for you. Good luck. I wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you.
Ashlyn, to your final COVID season. Can't wait to have you on the show and talk about that again. And to this weekend, like look, I hope this season ends on a high note for you ladies. I really do.
Thank
Awesome.
you so much. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.